Hello, everybody. It's Jeff Bessa again from Charting Horse Value. Gonna do another video, really important one, kind of analytical, but I think it's gonna really help you make wagering decisions. And so we'll get into that. Before we get into these two new factors that I've rolled out to the app, I wanted to show you a couple quick improvements I made. And I keep making these as I play with the app. But let's say you're looking at this race. This is Saratoga, Thursday, August 20th, race 1. And if you're looking at the race and you click anywhere in this race header, you will jump down to the bottom line. I think that's a feature people want. I know I want it, so I added it. And then if you click from the bottom line, you go back up to the race header where you could switch from race to race. So this makes it a little quicker, especially if you're trying to construct serial wagers and you're using the app. I think you'll enjoy this feature. So from the race header, boom, down to bottom line. From the bottom line, boom, back to race header. Okay? Now, let's say I'm down. I'm going to show you this new feature. These two new features are in the bottom line. There's going to be a third one coming soon. I'll roll that out probably in the next week or so. I'm still working on it. But there's two new factors right now. One's called HXS and one's called 1XS. HXS is basically measuring, we'll get into more detail, but it's basically measuring how good is this race to use in a serial wager. Okay? So this race is poor. It's measured, it's rated on a scale of 0 to 5. We'll talk about that in a minute. So very similar to the confidence score, which is up here. But I think this score is a lot better than confidence. And it's going to basically measure how likely the favorite will lose and how likely the winner will come outside the top 3 morning line. And third, how likely you can identify the winner easily using modeled win percentage, okay? So we'll talk a little bit about that more. Now, this number 1XS is measuring how good is this race to go skinny or single. If you get a score over 4, it looks like a single race. You see here, it's clearly a single race. And if you get a score over 3, it's a good race to go skinny if you're betting serial wagers. So back up here to the top, you can see Oath is a K, 65% win percentage. Now, granted, it's maiden claiming, so take that with a grain of salt. But it's only 4 horses. This horse looks very likely to win. If you're messing around with this race at all, you're probably going to want to single this horse or just pass. Okay? So that's the new feature. We're gonna dig into it. So let's go back up to the race header and let's switch back to yesterday, and let's go to race 4. Now race 4, you can see the most likely winner is Gardner, a horse, but the horse has -5 value. As you're looking at the second horse, second most likely winner, 25%, is Mischievous M, with positive value, okay, of 6.9. Now, if you keep scrolling down, you'll see that the bottom line actually tells you to bet Mischievous M and use Gardner Exotics and consider treaty obligation as a backup. Now, this particular race has an HXS of 1.9, so it's not a great race to try to beat the favorites. But it is a good race to go skinny, 3.5. So in this race, if you were playing serials, you probably want to use the 5-7, maybe the 3, depending on how deep you want to go. And you probably want to bet Mischievous M to win. By the way, Mischievous M won this race at 5-1 odds. Okay, so that gives you an idea of this particular tool. HXS, basically horizontal exotic score, trying to beat the favorite, trying to beat the top 3 morning line, trying to hit the winner using AW%. Okay, now let's look at race 4 for a second. Or 3, sorry, race 3. Now the bottom line here, HXS is 3, so this might be a good race to try to beat the favorites. And 1XS is 1.7 is not a good race to single. Now when you're trying to beat the top 3 morning line, you'll have to go through and look at who those top 3 morning line are. And in this race, you can see the top 3 morning line are Leclerc at 2.8 to 1. What do I have this sorted on right now? I have it sorted on PFIG. Let's sort it on win percentage. So you can see Leclerc is 2.8 to 1. Hot Gossip is 3.8 to 1. Cravings is 4.7 to 1. Huck's Agenda is 3.8 to 1. By the way, that's a toss. So you got a top 3 morning line. So the 4th morning line choice is Cravings. The 5th morning line choice is a tie between Pinky Briar and Baseball Lady. Baseball Lady is a toss. And so when you're trying to beat the favorites, you want to look at which horses have the best win percentage that are not one of the top 3 morning line choices. So in this case, it's the 4 and the 5, Pinky Briar, okay, which are both listed. 4 is in the exotics, and Pinky Briar is in the backups. Okay, now Cravings won this race at I think almost 8 to 1 odds. Paid almost $18, $17.70 or something like that. So I've shown you a couple examples. So let's dig into this a little more detail. Let's go to here. So this is this is a table I built for Saratoga yesterday. And this is the HXS score, and this is the 1XX score. HXS for horizontal exotics, 1XX for single exotics. So race 1 had a 1.6, don't try to beat the favorite. 3.4, probably want to go skinny. The winner did not, the winner was the 4, which we did not have in exotics or backups. So this was a complete miss. The winner won at 5 to 1 odds. In race 2, the HSS was 3.2, pretty good. Maybe a race you could try to beat the favorite. 1XS was very neutral. The winner was the 6, which we had in the exotics, but was kind of a favorite, kind of chalky. So we'll call that very lukewarm. Race 3, I already showed you. That's the one where Cravings won at 7.74 to 1, was a race you might want to try to beat the favorite. Race 4 looks like a race to go skinny. Again, the 5-1, I showed you this race at 5.85 to 1, almost 6 to 1. And there were 2 horses you would probably want to use minimum if you were going as serials. That was race 4. Race 5, now the scores are getting better. You definitely want to try to beat the favorite. Not a good race to single. The winner was the 6, which was the win bet at 4.23 to 1. That's a win. That's a hit. Race 6, another one. Want to beat the favorites. Now this one you want to beat the favorites, but you can also go kind of skinny. That's good. The win bet was a miss. The 3-1 in our exotics paid 3.1. So if you were going skinny, you probably would have caught the winner, maybe going 3 deep. Race 7 is just kind of neutral. Not a great race to play at all. I have the 5-7 in exotics and the 4 as a backup. The winner was the 2, which I actually used. I went 4 deep in this race. It was a seahorse, and I just, after handicapping, I thought, I need to use this 2. So, don't blindly follow this. Use your own brain. I used the 2, and I caught the 2 in my serial. By the way, I hit this race 3 double. I think I paid 58 to 1. And I think I hit this late pick 4. I can't remember what it paid, but I hit that too. It's kind of chalky. Then in race 8, again, kind of neutral, not a great race to play at all. And, you know, by the way, this race 5-6, that's the kind of race you could target for like a double, okay? Or you could target race 4-5-6 for a pick 3. You could play skinny here with the 5-7, and then you could spread a little bit in race 5-6 where you think there's value to be had. So with this horizontal score, we're trying to find where we could beat the favorites and where we could find value easily. And in with the 1x score, we're trying to find races we can go skinny or maybe even single. Now you notice there's no green here in the single. I don't put green in the single score until you get to at least 4. Okay, and which we saw race today in race 1, that went that high. Okay, so this is kind of how this new score works. Any questions, shoot me a DM. Let's look at let's look at some tables, okay? First of all, let's look at, let's actually look at this one first. This is the HXS bands. 0 to 1.49, 1.5 to 2.49, 2.5 to 3, 3 to 3.75, and 3.75 and above. Okay, now there's 7,600 races. I'm not filtering for anything. This is just all thoroughbreds, regardless of the race type, regardless of the condition of the track. And what you'll see is that as the score goes up, the favorites lose more often. 50% moving up to 81%. Over 7,600 races. The winner will come from outside the top 3. When the score is low, only 13% of the time. When the score is high, 45% of the time. You can hit the winner with the top 2 outsiders' win percentage. So again, now you're looking at basically what are the top 2 horses in modeled win percentage that are not in the top 3 morning line. And what's your chance that they win? Well, again, when the score is low, only 10%, and when the score is high, 30%. And what's the average odds when one of those 2 horses wins? Well, the odds do go down, unfortunately, as the score goes up. You can see the odds are quite high, but again, it's hard to hit. But as the scores go up, you could at 30%, you could still hit it, and the odds are going to be about 5.2 to 1 on average. Sometimes lower, sometimes higher. So, I mean, I think this is a powerful tool to help you figure out, hey, how should I play this race? This is the HXS band data over 7,600 races. Now, this is the 1XS band data. The bands are 0 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 and up, okay? How often does the top W percentage horse, win the race? You can see when the score is lower, it's only 23%, and when the score is higher, it goes up to 46%. Now, what is the average modeled win percent of those top horses? Well, at 23.9 is the 0 to 2 band. By the way, they won 23.4%. You can see how accurate we are modeling win percentage. Likewise, 29.7 to 29.3, that's over 2,300 races. 35.6 to 36 is the actual win rate. And the only place we're a little too optimistic is on the 4+. The average win percent was 47.6, and they only won 45.7, but still very high. And this is the average post-time odds. Of course, it goes down. That makes sense. We're getting a little chalkier as this 1XS band goes up. But for that top win horse, you're still getting 3.4 to 1. And you're winning 45.7% of the time. So this is really powerful. and I hope you guys like it. I want to go back to this. You'll notice in the win column for Saratoga yesterday, 3 of the races had a pass, 5 of the races had a score. 3 of those 5 horses won. And if you bet $2 to win on all 5, that cost you $10, and you got back $27.60. So huge ROI yesterday at Saratoga using these win horses. By the way, the exotic horse won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8 races. The backups yesterday did poorly, no wins. Tosses won twice. All right, well, that's the data I wanted to show you guys and the new improvements. Let's dig into it. Let's have fun today. Bye-bye.